The time right now is 1:04 a.m. And I should be in bed, but I'm not, because I'm a 67-year-old retiree and 24 hours a day is my free time. So if I decide I want to do a video at 1 a.m. in the morning or 3 a.m. in the morning, I can, and I do. But what I want to talk today about is just an interesting piece of information that I read. I've been reading Vladimir Zatsiorsky's book, Science and Practice of Strength Training. Vladimir Zatsiorsky is a world-renowned sports biomechanist from the former Soviet Union, where he was a strength and conditioning consultant for the Soviet Olympic teams. And he has helped train hundreds of Olympic athletes and also world-class athletes. And currently he's the emeritus professor of kinesiology at Penn State University. And he's well respected. The late Louis Simmons from West Side Barbell in Columbus, Ohio, was a big fan of Zatsiorsky and adopted a lot of his training methods. And of course, West Side Barbell is well known for setting many powerlifting records. What I found interesting, and I think it applies to a lot of home gym owners, and I'm sure you heard the advice that you should change your training routine every 6 weeks or so. And there's a big debate about that. There's people on the opposite side of the camp who says, no, you should keep bench pressing, deadlifting, and squatting. Those are your three primary lifts, and that's the only lifts you need to do. And of course, not everybody feels that way. But a lot of home gym owners use the same routine and the same exercises, workout after workout, for months, if not years at a time. And that's what I want to address today, is that whether you should really be doing that. And according to Zatsiorsky, you should. You should not. And the reason why, as Zatsiorsky explains it, is that the goal in any type of strength training program is to cause the body to adapt. And like the old saying goes, if you keep doing what you did, you'll keep getting what you got. And that unless the training load is greater than the habitual load, or if you're lifting more or more intensely, or at least more reps, more volume than what you normally do, there is no reason for your body to adapt. And that if you keep lifting the same amount of weight and the same reps and the same set scheme, that what will occur is what Zatsiorsky calls accommodation. Your body will get used to it, and you're not going to see any strength gains or any muscular growth, or no improvement for your endurance. So the issue is whether a home gym owner should change his or her routine. Zatsiorsky asserts that training adaptation takes place when the training load is above normal, or if the athlete is not accustomed to the exercise. So either you increase the load, whether it be by weight, or by intensity, or by volume, or by any other means, there is no reason for the body to adapt. And the second way is to do new exercises that your body's not accustomed to, which will force the body to adapt. Thus, it's a good idea to change your exercise routine every 6 weeks or so, and to use different exercises. For instance, I do deadlifts, but I do deadlifts with barbells, but I also use a trap bar. I will also use the Titan Fitness swing bell. I will also use my 150-pound Titan Fitness slam ball. I have a Yes For All 200-pound sandbag. I use that to deadlift with. I also deadlift with my 88-pound kettlebells. And I like to use the repeated effort method, which is building endurance. So I'm using non-maximal weight. So using 88-pound kettlebells, it works. That's non-maximal weight. So I can do reps and train to failure. And I'm not using that heavy weight, so that's an ideal weight for me. And remember, what Zasiorski pointed out in his book, Science and Practice of Strength Training, is that any training program has to fit the individual, because some individuals will have limitations or maybe even advantages. For instance, if a person has a knee injury, he has to work around that, or he might have a torn rotator cuff, or you might have a bad back, from doing too many back squats. But you have to adjust the training routine to the individual. Zasiorski points out that unless you change the training load in some way or change the routine, that accommodation occurs. The body will get accustomed to it, and there's no reason for it to adapt. I think this is an important concept. And Zasiorski really breaks it down. For instance, when he talks about training loads, he has 3 main classifications. Training adaptation will only take place if 2 things occur. One, if you have some type of increase in overload, which could be by volume or by intensity or by weight, or if the athlete does a different exercise that he's not accustomed to, or she's not accustomed to. And he breaks it down in more detail, and he talks about 3 different types of training loads as being stimulating, retaining, or detraining. A stimulating load is when the load is greater than the normal load, which forces the body to adapt. Retaining is that the load is the same as the person normally lifts, and that level of fitness stays the same. And detraining is when the training load is less than what you would normally do. So if you decide that you want to take it easy, and instead of doing 10 reps, you do 5 reps. And if you're using the same amount of weight, then detraining occurs, and that your level of fitness will decrease. So let's go back to the original issue. Should a home gym owner change his or her training routine every 6 weeks or so? The answer is yes. And the reason why, it has to do with adaptation, and that's what any method of strength training and muscular development is about getting your body to adapt by building thicker, bigger muscles, or more endurance, or more speed, or whatever your goal is. But according to Zasiorski, that training adaptation will only take place if the magnitude of the training load is above the habitual load. So if you're doing the same sets and the same reps and the same exercises, workout after workout, for months at a time, you shouldn't expect any training adaptation. Instead, Zasiorski says that there's two ways to induce the body to adapt. And number one is to increase the training load, and that includes the intensity and the volume. For instance, you can do more reps, or you can just lift more weights, or you can do it slower, but as to make the exercise more intense, but in some way increase the training load. And the second way that Zasiorski says is to change the drill. And to use exercises that the athlete is not accustomed to. I had a comment by Zugi1964 recently, who asked me when I did a video on a DIY version of how to do a belt squat. And in my video I showed 6 different ways that I do belt squats. And he asked me, well, since I have a Titan Fitness Squat Max ND, why don't I just do all my belt squats on the Squat Max ND? And the reason why is because of what Zasiorski says, that you have to change the drill. You have to change your exercises. When you do a belt squat on a Titan Fitness Squat Max MD, it's different from doing a belt squat on a lever belt squat attachment. Okay guys, that's it for tonight. I think I'm going to go upstairs, and I'm in my basement gym right now, and watch some Netflix. I'm genuinely interested in exercise and home gym equipment. And my goal was to live longer, because I'm in the November or December of my life, because I have a wife that depends on me. I have to provide for her. She's from a foreign country in Asia, and I promised her dad I would take care of her. And she doesn't have any skills. She's been a housewife all her life, and she has no education. Her parents forced her to quit school when she was 12, because in her country it was all about survival, and they needed the money for food. They couldn't afford to buy school books and school uniforms. They needed her home to help help them with their chores, pick rice and that kind of thing. But I genuinely am interested in this topic, and I don't make a cent off of YouTube. I've already spent thousands of dollars, creating these videos. But I do it because I am toward the end of my life. I would like to help others, and even if I help just one person in some small way, then this gives my life meaning. And then when I meet my Maker, he asks me, what did I do with my life? I can honestly say that I did my best to help others. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.